Right. Yeah, hang on. Let me put on my headphones as instructed so I don't screw this two up. All right. Okay. Can you see me? No, you can't because I'm looking over there. But let me see. On Skype, I can switch the. I can switch the. How on Skype? How on Skype do I switch the camera from that to this one? I can't remember. Here we go. View. There's a way on Skype where you can change the camera from. I have two different. I have a monitor and then. There we go. There we go. Aha. Here we go. Great. Right on. How you doing? What's going on? I'm great. I'm doing real good. Yeah. And I'm not. I just got back. I was there. I was there till I was there 2.5 weeks until Sunday. When did I get back? Monday. Monday. Yeah. Great trip. Great time. I was in Sao Paulo, but then we went to a place called Bonito. Have you been to Brazil? And there's this part of Brazil. So there's this part of the Brazil that you go west near the Pantanal, in the southern part of the Pantanal, which is a big swampland called Bonito, Bonito, like the fish, and great rivers and wildlife and whatnot. And you go swimming in the rivers there, and it's like swimming in an aquarium. The water's like crystal clear, and you got fish swimming all over the place. So I had a great time, you know. Yeah. Only issue is I got chiggers on my ankles that bit up my ankles quite bad. So they're in that. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Indeed. So congrats on your podcast. Nice job. I really like. I just listened to a bunch and I was like, wow, this is great. You got some great guests and I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately and I like your whole gig. It's great. Fantastic for our industry, obviously. So right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Right. So 10 years. I started in September 2000. Well, no, actually May 2005. So 10 years exactly. And started up. Yeah, Cachaça. Right. That's right. Yeah, a lot of people say Cachaça and Caipirinha. You got it right on the money. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And a lot of people struggle with Cachaça. They usually are dyslexic and they say instead of Cachaça they say Casacha and put the sh on the back part. Yeah, that's a big habit in the U.S. I'm sure there's like some psychoanalytical reason why, but I'm not sure what it is. So raw cane juice, you take the raw cane juice, cane juice in many parts of the world. A lot of people just drink cane juice. It's called caldo de cana in Brazil, guarapa, and throughout Latin America. But in Brazil, a lot of people drink cane juice fresh. In Brazil, they drink it with a pastel, kind of like a fried ravioli. But in other parts of the world, Pakistan, Egypt, it's a national drink all through Southeast Asia, and it's very healthy for you. A lot of people don't know it. I mean, I've been around it 10 years going to the distillery, and it has a lot of very low in glycemic index. I mean, it's not, you think sugar cane, it's going to be terrible for you, but it's got like a 32 glycemic index. It's high in antioxidants, very significant potassium. And that in itself is an interesting product. But yes, and that's your question. Cachaça is made from raw cane juice. You squeeze the cane, and then the juice you take and you ferment it just like you would a wine till it gets about 7-8% alcohol, and then you distill it. In whichever way you distill. We distill in copper alembic pot stills, and then it becomes a nice spirit. You know what? It is high in sugar, but you know what? It's not any more than orange juice. So I always wonder, why don't you ferment and distill orange juice? I mean, that could be another top for a program. But it's about 15% sugar, which is high. I mean, it's not, it means it's 85% liquid, but it's about 15% sugar. But it's enough to give you a good solid fermentation and distillation. Nothing special. I mean, we use cornmeal as a little starter to kickstart it, and then the rest comes naturally. And then we ferment for it's about 24 hours, and then we go to the distillation right from there. So cachaça has been around since the 1530s. So the Republic of Brazil was founded in January 1st, 1500, and cachaça was created in 1530s. I wasn't there, so this is what someone told me. So it's actually the first spirit of the Americas. It was created up in the northeast of Brazil in Pernambuco. It was the first time it was historically referred to, and actually 100 years before actually rum was created for the first time in the Caribbean. And the actual the predecessor to the mojito, the El Drake, was we used cachaça. Sir Francis Drake used to do the little triangle trip between the UK and Brazil and up to the Caribbean. And his sailors between Brazil and the Caribbean would drink these drinks called the El Drake, which would be cachaça with lime and Llana Buena, which is a type of mint. And that was apparently the first reference to a mojito. But cachaça has been around, forever. I mean, it's the national drink of Brazil. You go down there, and that's as ubiquitous as tequila is in Mexico. Uh, and the main drink is the caipirinha, but it wasn't always. I mean, the caipirinha really started becoming popular in the 1950s. Before then, actually, there was a drink called the batida, and the batida was not what the batida is referred to today, which is more of a frozen drink. The batida at that time was more just a squeezed lime served with sugar in a big pitcher in the interior of Brazil. Um, and then in the 1950s, somehow the caipirinha just became popular. It started in Rio, allegedly. I mean, it was probably discovered. Nobody knows for sure when the caipirinha was first invented. There's a lot that say there's a particular Portuguese queen that was her favorite drink in the early 19th century. But the caipirinha started becoming popular in the 50s, and then the cachaça really started to explode then in Brazil. Sure, of course. Go there to watch the World Cup. Hmm? Yeah, well, the owner's French and the wife is Brazilian. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm, they sure do. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, so the cachaça is, I mean, if you're familiar with caldo de cana and raw cane juice, it's very similar to raw cane juice. I mean, you get a very floral, vegetal type nose, and you get a lot of lychee in the flavor, a lot of lemongrass, and you can tell it's an agricultural product. I mean, you can taste grass, and that's what you get. And what we do is, I mean, we have about 100 hectares of our own cane fields. The key to making a good cachaça is, you take care of the cane, the rest will take care of itself. It's just like any wine or spirit. You just need really good cane, and you got to get it to the distillery quickly, and you gotta squeeze it quickly. Otherwise, it will start. It's very hot in Brazil. There's a lot of sun, so exposed to a lot of sun, it will start fermenting. In the parking lot. So you got to get it there squeezed within 4 hours to ensure quality, and then it goes from there. All natural fermentation, clean fermentation, And then and then we distill in copper alembic pot stills. You know, the old-fashioned way, just like you would a cognac or a Scotch whiskey. And then we age in old cognac casks. Give it polish for 6 months, about 3 to 6 months, depending on the batch. Not much. If you can see a little of a straw hue there. So if you put it against white, you can see it. And you know, the guy who does my partner, so is actually a Frenchman. So when it came to choosing wood, he said, well, you know, he's actually a cognac maker, a guy named Gilles Merlet. And he said, well, why don't we use, you know, my cognac casks, and just give it a little polish, nothing that's going to alter the flavor or the color too dramatically, but just give it a polish, take out the bite, but don't screw up the nose that we work so hard to, you know, that fruity, collegey kind of nose that we work so hard to create. And I don't remember. Mm. Yeah, it could have been lychee. I get a lot of lychee, a lot of pineapple, and grassy. Yeah, right. No, we cut law. It isn't. No, actually, it's against the law now. In Minas Gerais, it's law, and I think they just passed it in São Paulo. We actually, we're an artisanal cachaça. There's two types of cachaças. I always say it's two categories with the same name, cachaça. You have the industrial cachaças, and then you have the artisanal cachaças. Artisanal cachaças are made, you know, small batch Alembic pot still cachaças. And those you'll never, everyone cuts their cane by hand. So we have 6 guys out there, 104 hectares of land, cutting by hand. And it doesn't make sense to do it any other way. And you certainly won't burn your fields. The industrial cachaças, or, you know, industrial sugar production, which is basically the same thing, they would burn their fields. They still do it, but it's not legal. I've never seen it in the past 5 years in Minas Gerais anymore, but I have recently saw it in São Paulo. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. It's not too very. That's exactly it. To get rid of, because with you have your stalk, but then you have a lot of leaves, and so part of cutting your cane is you have to cut the cane, but then you have to clean it. So you have to get off all the leaves, and you got to get off the top. Of the original stalk and the plant, to get one stalk, I'd say about 35% is the leaves and the grass that grows around it that you got to eliminate, so that you get a nice clean pressing when you take it through. 6. Yeah. 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 They work hard, man. Whenever bring visitors there, that's the first thing they say is, you know, I hope you're treating these guys well, because these guys are working their butt off, and we do treat them well. You know, they're pretty resilient, strong men. You know, and they wear the hats that cover the back, so they're, you know, because of the sun. Um, and they can get pretty nasty in the fields. I was there with, I actually saw him the other day, Jacob Briers, and I remember when Jacob was cutting the cane, he got attacked by these large ants, and it got in his hair, and it was really painful. Uh, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, case in point. So we have an aged. So actually, that's called Seleção Verde. That's fresh select, and that is a unfiltered, unaged, straight from the still strength cachaça. So that is just a, you know, limited edition. We had a great Safra, a great harvest last year. We had about 5 days in particular that we just said, you know, this juice is amazing. Let's just put this aside and figure out what to do with it. And we released this year you know, that limited edition here in the U.S. Not aged at all. No, right out of the still. 45% ABV, and we really want to show people. what Leblon, what Cachaça tastes like, right when it comes out of the still, and then continue the journey with our Leblon, and then we'll see in a sec, the Reserve Especial, what happens when we age it in new oak for 2 to 3 years. So this is the new stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same that's aged. It's new French oak from the Limousin region, and that's aged 2 to 3 years in Brazil, where it's very hot, so it takes on a lot more wood than you would in, I guess, Nova Scotia or Scotland, where it's cold. Yeah, I mean aged cachaças in Brazil are very popular. You can get them in all types of wood, whether they're mostly neat, just boom. Rarely in cocktails, believe it or not. It's all neat. Um, yeah, right. That's right. Those no, that's new French oak. So it is French oak. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it tastes great. Neat on the rocks. You can make a nice old fashioned with it. You can certainly play around with it in the Caipirinha and do some all sorts of naughty stuff with it. But it's fun. So I mean that really kind of shows, with our Seleção Verde, which is our raw cachaça straight out still, and this after 2 to 3 years, and then our LeBlanc right there in the middle after 3 to 6 months aging. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Açaí. Açaí is a fruit from the northeast of Brazil in the Amazonian region. It's kind of like a Brazilian blueberry. And it's very, very purple. A lot of people will eat acai in frozen bowls in Brazil for breakfast with bananas and granola. And I can tell you, you get it on your shirt and you're done for. You'll never get it out. But this is a fruit maceration, no different than the other bottle I see behind you there, the Grand Marnier. You take the fruit. In that case, it's the Haitian orange peels. In this case, it's the acai, and you macerate it. We do it with lime zest, orange peel, ginger root, um, and the alcohol is Leblon. It's the unaged cachaça, and 25% alcohol. Yeah. Exactly, and one of our major uses for it is in a we call it a Rio Royale. You just put that in over some champagne or prosecco or what have you, or any cocktail. You put a little ounce of that into a caipirinha, mojito, a margarita, or put it in soda. It's great. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and I understand you're gonna make it. Okay, okay. Oh, that's phenomenal. Yeah. You gonna play the guitar while we're at it and play a little bossa nova? Hmm. Lime, right, right. Live. Yeah, yeah. So that's the place to start. Well, that's the right place to start is get a great lime, and probably the most important thing besides the cachaça is to have a juicy lime. There's nothing worse than in the middle of winter having one of those limes that have absolutely no juice in them, and you're basically, you know, there's nothing's going to come out of the lime. So you want to make sure your lime's ripe, it's juicy, and the first thing you do is you cut your lime. And I'll tell you very simply what you do is you know, here's a lime right here. You cut your ends off, right? And then you cut your lime right down in half. And first thing you do is you cut out that pith in the center out of your both halves, because that pith gives it a little bitterness. And then you cut it into eighths and then into sixteenths, just like you have. And the same thing, more pith, more bitterness. Mhm. Yeah. It depends on your lime juiciness. For a good juicy lime, it's a half a lime, so that would be about, you know, 8 of your little sixteenths. Mm-hmm. Uh, right, and then you pick your sugar of choice. Yeah, yeah, that's the classic way. Yeah, right, right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Sure. Cool. Very cool. Yeah. Nice. They do. They do. In fact, right behind our distillery, we have a lime tree there that when, you know, we have guests, we just go and grab our lime off the tree. Nothing tastes better. Yeah. 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 So I mean, that's the traditional in Brazil. You know, that all the sugar's super fine, very powdery, and just like when you're making sweet tea, super fine dissolves much quicker and much better. Um, you know, there is a big controversy. As a matter of fact, I just got an email today from a bartender in Brazil, a guy named Marco de la Roche, who has a blog down in São Paulo called Mixology News, asking me about sugar and mixing and shaking. And the sugar front, you know, one of the controversy is, do you use sugar or do you use simple syrup? And the traditional way is to use, you know, the granulated superfine sugar, mainly because not only is it the traditional way, it's the way it's always been done, but also the granularity takes out some of the zest and kicks up some of the aromas you get from the zest, from the peel, from the lime. Uh, exactly, exactly. Certainly. Now the controversy is obviously when you're in the bar and you want to do some volume or you don't have time to stir or shake, you know, you're a little bit more efficient to have the syrup. So they use the superfine sugar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so actually you add ice. Yeah, you that. Uh, so you're muddled. You add ice to the top. Usually crushed. Yeah, usually you crack them. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And now you add the Leblon, 2 ounces of Leblon, which should be just right below the lip of that glass. And and then here's where comes the second controversy: is do you shake or stir it? And Marco in his email today pointed out to me that we have a few videos that we actually shake it, and he pointed out to me that for the authentic caipirinha, it should be stirred. It shouldn't be shaken. And he, you know, my view is it's whatever you like. If you know, whatever you like. If obviously It's certainly more efficient, and it melds it much better together. Not to mention, it's usually 100 degrees in Brazil, and it starts melting right away. So sure. Yeah, yeah, but I've seen a lot of people strain it and add fresh lime, for appearance or serve it up. So, cheers. Yeah, cheers. Saúde. Cheers. Saúde. Saúde. Mhm. Nice. Yeah. Okay. How much? Yeah, two. Do you have two teaspoons or? Okay. Yeah. All right. Mm. Right. Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Art Cachaça. It came out well. Good 60 recipes in there. Um, I mean, a lot of people, rightfully assume that you can only do a caipirinha with cachaça, but you can do a lot of stuff. I mean, it can be simple stuff. I mean, it does well in something as simple, just tonic with the twist of lime, um, to just mix it with fruit juices. Caipirinhas, you can obviously use all sorts of fruits. Very popular in Brazil is the Brazilian maracuja passion fruit, pineapple and mint. Um, yeah, with honey. Yeah, that's a good one. Do you have? Oh, you got some. Good. Let me see. Let me pull that. I got it here. Yeah. So you got figs. You got lime juice, simple syrup, and ginger ale. Do you have ginger ale? Right on. That's great. Uh-huh. Okay. Sure. No worries. No worries. Oh, cool. Very cool. Right on. Oh, I love that. There's a good recipe in the book that uses that to put a little foam on top. It's a recipe by Tobin Ellis from Las Vegas, if you know Tobin, and it's a drink called the baseado, which means joint in Portuguese. But he takes cilantro, cucumber, lime, and lemongrass and muddles that, and then he uses his adds a foam, a coconut foam. Yeah, it's really good. Oh yeah, it's ready to go. It is lime juice, yeah. Yeah, let me see the measurements here. Quarter ounce of lime, fresh lime, half a fig cut into wedges, and a quarter ounce of your of simple syrup, or you could use the your ginger syrup. Yeah, yeah, and 1.5 ounces of Leblon. Yeah, awesome, nice. Yeah. hmm You know, we get them from all our partners. I mean, there's no one better to get them from than the people making our drinks in the bars. So, you know, we're in about 30, 35 countries around the world. Certainly bartenders in Brazil, and certainly here in New York and around the U.S. Um, well, you have Miss Favela out in Brooklyn. That's a good one to visit. Um, you have Casa downtown in the Village. Not a bar, more of a restaurant. Um, you have Circus on the Upper East Side, which is a good joint. A couple churrascaritas. A really nice one on Third Avenue and 60th Street called Texas de Brazil. And then you have Fogo de Chão in Midtown here. Right, I think that's Casa, the one on Franklin. I think so. Yeah. Oh, and then there's I'm sorry, Platforma. Platforma, yeah. Yeah, the one downtown in Tribeca closed, but the one in Hell's Kitchen is still open, yeah. And then you have in Little Italy, Little Brazil, which is on, was it 54th Street in Midtown. You have a few, nice Brazilian restaurants at Benima and 46th Street, yeah. A lot of good places there. Yeah, it looks great. Nice job. Yep. Hmm. Gotta be careful. Gonna blow you out the back window there. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it looks good. The color looks wonderful on screen. Yeah, nice job. Looks good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you can serve that up in the martini glass. It look great with a nice garnish. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Leblon.com. We just did a new version of our website. Have all the recipes that are in this book. You go to our website and you can get a free muddler. Yeah, which is key to the trade and get ready next year for the Olympics. The Olympics are in Rio, August 2nd to what is it, August 22nd or so. So we're gearing up for that. We expect people to celebrate the games with some caipirinhas and some Brazilian cachaça cocktails. So we're pretty excited. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having us on. Yeah, we love it. Okay, Brian. Take care. Cheers. Bye.